All right. Water temperature. How does it affect your coagulation, flocculation system? Remember, your particles are going to slowly settle because they're clumping together, right? They're getting approaching that point, and then eventually they freeze and become ice, and they float up. Okay. RO, reverse osmosis, also known as demineralization, right? The book shows it as demineralization, so make sure you know those terms. The brine valve, right, which is what left over, that mixture, that incredibly acidic nature. You're going to close, if you close that valve, you're going to get 100% recovery. And then you're going to damage the membrane. Okay? Your RO water terms, you need to know those. What's the term for the water passing from one side of the membrane to the other? Flux. Okay? And the Christmas tree layout. Make sure you know the hollow and the spiral and the different types of that. And the other thing is you need to know what to do if you have an issue with your piping. What are you going to replace it with? That's a question that you need to know. All right. Okay. Now, aeration is essentially degassing, right? Volatile substances. So anything that wants to leave solution is a volatile substance. Sludge dewatering. Make sure you know what to do with the belt. Okay? This is one of the questions I got wrong on my initial state test. All right, so make sure you wash that belt. Wash it, right? Because we already learned that lime and alum don't get along. So, anyway. Fusible plugs on a 1-ton cylinder, 2,000 pounds, 6 to 8 of them. Okay? Right? 6 to 8 of them. You may need to know the melting point, but you need to know the number. There's only one on the 140-pound cylinder. And don't forget your drawdown rates, 40, 400. Okay? You can't pull 400 out of a 150, so you know it's that one. It's not going to be that one. It's got to be the 1-ton. Marble tests. You're going to have to interpret marble tests. Make sure you look that up because I'm not going to explain that. I don't like those questions. Okay. Chemical sign of alum. AlSO4. Okay? It's easy if your initials are ALS. But the odds of you having initials ALS is pretty low. Okay? Safety. Okay? Remember, trenching, shoring, negligence, right? Make sure you know trenching, shoring, safety, oxygen levels, 19.5. You need to know that, okay? When do you need to repeat the sample timing? Within a positive hit, 24 hours from notification. Secondary standards notice. This is in your administrative code stuff. Make sure you know how long it takes before you have to give them a violation notice. Okay? The public. Time for notice with a violation, right? Make sure you know those. Ion exchange, remember. Service, backwash, brine, rinse. Okay? Service, backwash, brine, rinse. SBBR, done. Nice and simple. What types of ions are exchanged for hardness ions? Right? Calcium and magnesium are exchanged for sodium. Okay? Sodium, salt. Okay? Simple. All right. Objective of a water plant operator is drinking water that is pleasant and aesthetically, good. Right? And doesn't have any issues with there. Make sure you know the definition too of disinfection, right? It's the inactivation of pathogens, not necessarily killing them all. That's why you gotta maintain a residual. All right, define volatile substances. We probably talked about that a minute ago, but make sure you know what the volatile substance is. Sedimentation, settling time. If you got 80% of your flock settling within the first 2 to 3 minutes, what does it mean? Okay, probably means your coagulation dose is a little bit high. All right, selection of disinfectant is based on what? Okay, laboratory safety, so beakers, safety glasses. Don't get Don't get hit with a safety glass penalty like I did. All right, and lose an eye. Industrial wastes are a source of what in water, right? Industrial wastes, probably inorganics, heavy metals, could be something like that, right? All right. Soda ash for non-carbonate hardness. Remember that. You want to use soda ash for non-carbonate hardness. What type of ions are present at 8.3? Right? Hit the definition of volatile again. Artesian. You need to know the definition of artesian. Well, need to know the definition of a aquifer. Right? Rocky substrate, contains water. Artesian flows above the surface, right? Has to do that. We have a couple of them, but not that many. All right. Hydrogen sulfide is rotten egg smell. Okay. Hydrogen sulfide. H2S. Simple. All right. What's the effect of alum sludge on the soil? Okay. Know that. Temperature effect on particles, right? We already talked about it gets colder, it starts clumping together. That means your flocculator is going to have to change speed. Remember that, okay? So based on your temperature, you're going to have to change the speed of your flash mixer, and you may have to change your flocculators, okay? Algae bloom, how to get rid of it. Copper sulfate, CuSO4, okay? Nutrient question with algae. It's also going to ask you a question about respiration. Remember, algae is a living creature, so if you, at night, it doesn't have sun, what is it doing? It's breathing out. pH is going to drop, right? Okay. Taste and odor. You want to make sure you know your different types of algae, the blue-green algae, the ones, what types of things. And then obviously, if you have a medicinal taste in the water, phenols, or however you pronounce that, phenol, anyway. Alrighty, well, that is the end of the C stuff. I'm going to go over to B stuff in just a moment, and then we'll move on to the rest.